Well, Rich is in the can, as he would say. He's in the bathroom. So he told me to go ahead and start. But let me see if our special guest is even ready. He's ready. All right, you guys ready for your favorite angel? Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, he just celebrated his 100th, Mr. Misha Collins! He's our angel! Come and say tonight! He's my angel! Come and make it Misha, how are ya?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good seeing you.
Good seeing you too.
We still need to have our phone conversation.
Yeah.
Played some serious phone tag.
We played phone tag this week. We were going to talk. But
Never.
neither of us really wanted to talk, so when the other guy called, we didn't answer.
Well, what's hard is when you call, it says like, no found number. It's like do not answer. This is because you've got a blocked number.
Yeah, but you know that's me. And then that's why you don't answer.
No, because the people that are trying to sell me something, it says the same thing. It says no caller ID.
Well, now everybody knows my caller ID. It's a lot.
Anyway, we will talk.
Okay.
But in the meantime, you're here for this panel, and I'm not.
All right.
So I'm gonna go.
I miss you already.
I miss you too.
You know what? I'll call you.
Okay, please do.
All right, bye. Hi. How's it going? Pretty good, all in all. You washing the window? It's a nice circular wave you have there. Well, we were just having a sentimental moment in the photo op room. Chris and I, we were talking about the fact that he has taken 250,000 supernatural photos. So there's no question with that volume of photos that there are some truly, truly compromising images of me out there. I did that? But we were also talking about the fact that this has been so long that we've been doing these conventions. It's kind of an amazing thing. What? No, I'm just kidding. And my first convention was in New Jersey. Is there anybody here that was there? Oh my God, we're still doing this? You looked so youthful when we first met. I distinctly remember coming up on stage and being like, oh God, this is terrifying. And it was terrifying, and it still is terrifying. But it's been such a big chunk of all of our lives now. It's kind of remarkable. Yeah. That's all I have to say on the matter. Chris and I hugged like we meant it. It was one of those moments, like, oh, I'm so sorry for what you've suffered through, my friend. Well, all right. I mean, what a strange thing. What a strange thing to luck into, having this for so long. So, thank you guys, and the four of you who have been here from the beginning. I was so nervous when I came up on stage because I was like, they're gonna ask me questions about the show and I can't remember anything. They're gonna be like, what episode was it when you first stared longingly into Dean's eyes? Sure. It was Lazarus Rising. Hi, How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Great, thanks. What's happening?
I'm having a great day, and it's 3 days before my birthday, so thank you.
That bodes well. Yep.
So my question is, with Dean being gone, how is the relationship between Cass and Sam and Cass and Murray going to evolve now that there's not really a buffer there?
Not really a what there?
A buffer.
A buffer?
Yeah.
Do you feel like Dean has been the buffer between...
They talk more than anybody else, so now that he's like not there, it's like...
Every time Cass starts to talk to Sam, Dean like just comes in between them like, hey guys, I don't want you talking to each other. And the same thing with Mary. He just doesn't want Cass to talk to anybody else. You know what, if you have something to say to Mary, if you have something to say to Mary, you can say it to me and I'll pass it along, Cass. Cass, if you have something to say to Sam, say it to me and I'll pass it along to him. Well, it's kind of interesting. So in the beginning of the season, you may know this, Dean has been occupied by the Archangel Michael. He's very well dressed. He's suddenly dapper, and the bunker sort of turns into mission control with all of these hunters from the alternate universe, and Sam takes on a leadership role, which is obviously very awkward for him, and I think Cass and Sam end up having a few kind of like really earnest, connected scenes, which is not historically common. We typically have been slightly mistrustful of one another, I think, over the years. And I think that's just because Jared as a person is so intolerable. And that bleeds into our dynamic, you know, on set as actors. Yeah. We had such a fun week of shooting this week. We were total children all week. We had a montage scene that we shot, and it basically says in the script, like, you know, it's a montage, so they're just sort of like, we're supposed to be in different positions to show the passage of time in this waiting room, and boy, the positions we found ourselves in. And the director just gave up, and he just let it roll, and we were fucking around for about 15 minutes straight, and I think they need about 10 seconds of footage for this. And he says, okay, finally he said, cut, put me out of my misery. And then he turned to the script supervisor and said, did we get what we needed? And she said, no. And so we did it again for another 15 minutes. It was great. And we kept on having, there was a bunch of scenes where Alex, who plays Jack, he's like having, I don't want to give too much away, but he's sort of having fainting spells. So he's on the floor a few times. And every time in the scene when he would fall to the floor, Jared and Jensen and I would pile on top of him. And that's 600 pounds of man. And then at one point, Ruth got on top of that. So yeah, it was fun. It was a fun week and very professional. And you didn't even ask about that. Hi.
Hi, Misha.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm Richard from Hungary.
You're from Hungary?
Yeah, I'm from Hungary.
Are you visiting?
I am.
Okay, how long are you here for?
I'm here for a week, actually.
Okay, and did you come for the convention mostly?
Sorry?
Are you here really for the convention?
Oh, yeah, basically, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's my first time also, so...
That's amazing!
Yeah, it's a great time.
Welcome to Trump World.
Thank you. And my question is actually not show related, but
okay.
I wanted to ask you, how did you like this year's Gish?
How did I like this year's Gish?
Yeah.
I thought it was great. How many of you did Gish this year? Those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, it's sort of this weird amalgamation of a scavenger hunt and an art project and a charity project and my effort to embarrass strangers. which works great, by the way. My favorite part of it is looking at the photos of people humiliating themselves. But it was great. This year felt like the energy was, people seemed to really just enjoy it this year, and we tried to do a lot more things that were not quite as difficult, which I think made it more fun for people. But there were also a lot of things that were impossible, and that element of frustration was still there, which is also satisfying for me. Did you do it in Hungary?
Oh yeah, we did some items, yeah.
Yeah? What did you do?
Couldn't say now, but some of the easier items, of course.
The easier items?
Yeah, some of these.
And you don't remember? You're lying. Okay. you're like Kavanaugh. All right, so... Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Yeah. Okay. So my question is, so on the show you've played like lots of different characters, like being possessed by Lucifer and like the alternate dimension thing, and like and like the empty cast and stuff. Like, what is your inspiration for that, or do you just like wing it, like when you show up?
Are you saying that it looks really unpolished, what I'm doing?
I guess.
Yeah, maybe. So every time I see in the script that there's an opportunity to play a slightly different iteration of Cass, I get excited because I feel like that's an opportunity for me to make the producers wish they had never hired me. And I think that there have been a few instances where I maybe pushed the envelope a little too far. Empty Cass, I think, was a good example of that. So that was where Castiel was talking to the character, the Empty, who also looked like Castiel because he was played by me, and I wanted to make sure there was like enough differentiation between the two characters that you could tell who was talking at a given point, and so I gave the Empty Cass a really creepy accent that's not an accent from any place. So it just sounds like a bad accent, performed by an actor who doesn't know how to do accents. I didn't think it all the way through, but I saw it later and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then we screened Scooby Natural at the Kodak Theater, which is the theater where they do the Oscars. So it's kind of like really exciting, and the theater was full of people, and then afterwards we got up on stage and we did a panel, and it was basically like winning an Oscar, and except for there was no award and we didn't do anything good. And Bob and Andrew, our showrunners, were up there, and somebody asked a question about the Empty Cast, and Bob said when the dailies came in, which are the footage from set, they weren't on set, so they didn't get to see what I was doing, and they didn't talk to me about what I was going to do in advance. So they got the footage, at which point it was too late for them to change anything. And they looked at each other and they said, what the fuck is he doing? Which I think is a pretty good endorsement of my performance. And now we're going back into the Empty, and we're meeting that character again, which is exciting, but it's being played by a different actor now. So they fired me.
Really?
Thanks for bringing up that sensitive topic. Hello.
Hi.
So this is the portion of the program when you ask a question.
Sorry, I'm really nervous.
Don't be nervous. That man behind you won't harm you.
What was your favorite line ever said on the show?
Favorite line ever said on the show?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
By you, by Cass.
That I said? That's a very challenging question. Do you have a favorite Cass line? I mean, there are a lot of sort of go-to favorites, like, hey, ass butt. Which I actually strangely used as a pickup line sometimes, and I find it to be very effective. I pose it as a question. I know, I realize how young she is. I'm stopping. I'll just wait here then. Is another good one. Also works at bars.
I learned it from the pizza man.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. So I was wondering how Cass's reaction to Dean being possessed by Michael will be different than other characters' reactions, and if we're gonna see what happens after Dean said yes, because it kind of like time skipped and we didn't see what happened after that.
Well, you haven't seen it because it hasn't aired yet. Are you asking for a sneak peek at the coming season?
If you can give it to me, yeah. I just wanted to know if we will.
Okay, yeah, sure. I've got it on my phone. Do you want to look at it right now?
Yeah.
Speaking of on my phone, I was just looking at the video of Jared and Jensen pieing me from Thursday night. That was the end of the night. I ended up getting home at around 1 a.m. and then I got picked up to go to the airport to come here at 3:45 a.m. So I had a lot of sleep. When you guys come up for your autographs, you can just not go ahead and say that I look tired, because I know I do. But that was the end of the night after a long day, and it was not the best way to end the day. I was really surprised because I didn't know that Jared and Jensen were going to also pie me. That was a surprise. They like to do that because they're bad people. I could not get it out of my ears. I kept like sticking a Q-tip in my ears, and it just kept driving the whipped cream deeper into my ear canal. It's like at the end of a 13-hour day, just like how did my life wind up like this? But that's not what you asked about. So Cass reacts, I think, by just going into like survival mode, and he's hell-bent on figuring out how to get Dean, or get Michael extracted from Dean and get Dean back. And he's maybe more than anyone, sort of willing to do whatever it takes. There, I don't know. Great, okay. Hi.
Hi. So,
Yes.
first of all, I just want to apologize because during our photo op, I sort of really crushed you while hugging you, and I heard you go, oof, and I'm really sorry about that.
Like you squeezed me and I farted?
Yeah, no, I heard you actually like groan about being hugged too hard, and I wanted to apologize for that.
I appreciated it. That was a fart of satisfaction.
And so my birthday's coming up on Tuesday, so my question was...
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You were sort of fishing for that, weren't you?
That's gonna be the best happy birthday. I was wondering if you have any memorable birthdays or with the cast, or just that you can remember from your childhood that like really stick with you.
I had this weird thing when I was a kid where I would always get sick or get hurt on my birthday. I skateboarded backwards into a dumpster on my 10th birthday and bruised my kidney so badly that I couldn't walk. I have a lot of, I think all of my childhood birthday memories are bad. My mom decided, we went to different schools all the time, so I didn't have like a close group of friends. Like sometimes we'd switch schools mid-year, but we were always in a different school every year. And so my mom wanted me, I think, to feel like on my birthday I had friends, so she invited a bunch of kids from my class over, and I think this was 4th grade, for a sleepover. And the girls in the class came too. There was like 10 kids over for a sleepover, and they all while I was sleeping, they took the blankets off and they took pictures of my penis. It was the most, like as bad as it could possibly get for a 9-year-old. So yeah, you're actually bringing up a super painful topic for me, and I thank you for that. Yeah, super sad now. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
I do have this one memory that kind of this one. I'll try to end on a lighter note. Oh no, it's actually super depressing too. So there was a man who was a friend of my mother's when I was quite young. He ended up dying of AIDS, so that's the sad part. But before that, he was like I guess he had been in prison, and he had gotten a job like picking up trash on the side of the road with one of those little trash pickers. And he, for my 6th birthday, he drew me this little picture of himself in a raincoat, stabbing trash. And it said, "I didn't mind working in the rain today because it was Misha's birthday." And I saved that until our house burned down. Also a sad story. But I had that on my wall until I was 16, and it was somehow very meaningful to me, even though I didn't really know him very well at all. It was just like that. Yeah. Hi.
So my question is, have you ever read or seen any fan fiction? And if yes, what kind?
Have I ever read or seen fan fiction?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
17.
Have you?
Possibly.
How can I keep my children off the internet? Oh my God, I have to keep my children off the internet. There are horrible things that they can't read about me. It's the first time that dawned on me. When I first got on the show, I was sort of like taken aback by the whole thing. I didn't know really that I was coming into a fandom. I didn't even know what a fandom was. I certainly didn't know what slash fiction or fan fiction was. I didn't know, I was several episodes in before discovering that I was a character in slash fiction, which I discovered just by accident. I was just like Googling around like, oh wow, weird. This is like, oh, somebody wrote an essay about Cass and Dean, and I don't remember this part in the script where Cass unbuttons Dean's pants, and I read it so naively and so innocently. I was like, wow, what is happening here? But I have not. I know that some of the other cast members do write a fair amount of slash fiction. I love how everybody's just quietly just accepting that. Yeah, we know. Does everybody know what slash fiction is? Raise your hand if you don't. Okay, so both of you who don't know. It's where they write stories. Fans write stories about the characters in the show, and sometimes those characters get amorous with one another, and sometimes violently so. Okay, good talk. I don't know why we're still talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So my question is, I just want to say thank you, first of all, because of all your kind of work with mental illness and things like that. I myself am someone that has struggled with mental illness and things like that. So I just wanted to say, in times kind of when things are low or you're tired or you kind of don't know what to do? Who do you turn to, either the cast or family members, when you need a little pick-me-up?
That's a really interesting question. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for saying that. I think this community, this fandom, has been really incredibly supportive of one another in that department, and it's lovely to see you getting up there and sharing that and feeling comfortable doing that in this large group of people, because I think that you know that you're accepted and embraced here, and that's a nice thing to have. I think I turn to probably my wife first and most. I've had a few times in my life where I was having a really, really hard time, and just hearing her voice was soothing in like a medicating way. I also can, I have these like periodic. I don't know if I've ever shared this, but I have these periodic kind of dark spells, which I call molting, where I just feel, I think it's probably depression, but I named it something else to make it easier for me to talk about it. And it lasts for like 2 weeks, and it happens maybe once every 5 years or something like that. And it's very visceral, and I just feel like very dark, and I kind of just curl up and go into my own head and wait for it to pass. So in a way, sometimes I think I just go into myself too, for a weird kind of solace. I'm oversharing right now, and I don't know why. But yeah, I think that I also have like a couple of really long-term friends that I can turn to, just a couple, and talk to about any hard thing. And it's nice to know that there's a few people out there that sort of, I guess, we have like, mutual, unconditional love and aren't going to judge each other. And it's nice to have a few people like that in one's life. That felt like therapy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. My name is Lizzie, and I'm repping your I Wish for This campaign shirt today.
Why, thank you.
Because it's amazing.
It looks fetching on you.
Oh, thank you. I love your outfit too. My question is, I was wondering if you're doing a new campaign soon, or if anything's coming up.
I don't have anything in the offing right now, but we are all, not all, but many of us on the cast are running a marathon coming up, and I think that that's sort of something that we're all going to put our efforts behind and treat as, as a campaign. We want to try to like make as big an impact with that as possible, because we're going to be suffering so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. So first I wanted to say congratulations on 10 years. I know I'm a little late, but...
Thank you.
And non-show related, who's your favorite band?
Who's my favorite band? I do not have a favorite band.
Okay.
I have lots of favorite musicians and bands, and it vacillates wildly. I'll listen to, AC/DC, and then I'll listen to Nina Simone, and I'm kind of all over the map. Do you have a favorite band?
Probably Green Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Good choice. Yeah. Sorry, that was a really unsatisfying answer.
It's okay.
All right, I'll try to be better next time.
Try.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I was just wondering how you celebrated Weston Mason's birthdays this year.
Well, this was an exciting year because it's the first time in several years that I've actually been home for my kids' birthdays. I was shooting, so I was only with them for about an hour after they woke up, but it was still something. I brought them sweet cupcakes to eat and let them have them for breakfast. And then Vicky said, West, you will not tell anyone at school that we let you have a cupcake for breakfast. So it was like a sort of combination of celebration and shaming. They were both very cute and very excited. Small children are so excited to have the annual clock tick one more year further. And Mason especially was just delighted that she was 6 years old now. She was like, this is gonna be awesome. I'm 6. So cute. But so it's actually not better, it's worse. Getting older is bad. And I tried to explain that to both of them. I have this story about aging that I've shared before, but I'll share it again because it seems appropriate. We have this nighttime routine where I'll lie in the middle and one of them will lie on each shoulder and then we'll read books. And I was sort of like cuddling them both and I said, I want you guys to never grow up and always stay my little kids. And Mason said, no, I am going to grow up. And I said, no, I want you to never grow up and stay my little kids forever and ever. And she said, no, I am going to grow up. And I said, no, I want you to stay my little kids forever and ever and ever. And she said, no, I am going to grow up and I'm going to get old and I'm going to die. Kind of killed the mood for me. Thanks. Hi.
Hi, Misha. First, I want to say I do hope we get to see you direct again at some point.
Why, thank you very much.
And my question is, when you are directing, like scripts can be 30 or 40 scenes. How do you break that down? Like, you know, which one to start first, like which scene to shoot first, like what order you're going in? Is there kind of like a pattern to that everybody follows, or is it just up to the individual director?
So we don't shoot in order unless it's convenient. It really has to do with locations. So, for example, we'll know that on Monday we're going to be in the studio, so we'll shoot scenes that happen in the Men of Letters on Monday. We try to stay in the same set. And then if there are, typically in an episode, if, for example, there are maybe over the course of the script, 6 scenes that take place in the Men of Letters, we'll do those in order in one day, if that makes sense. But they won't be consecutive scenes. They'll just be, you know, the first scene of the Men of Letters and then, you know, throughout to the end of the script. But the first AD is the one that figures all that stuff out, and the director more or less just does what he or she is told. Yeah, it's super complicated, all of the scheduling and logistics that go into putting an episode together, and it's never really in sequence, and that makes it tough for the actors because, you know, we'll be shooting, you know, maybe the very first scene that we shoot is the last scene in the script, and because, you know, for instance, me, Jared, and Jensen, we never read the scripts. We have no idea what's going on. That's not true. So yeah, but you can, if you're not totally paying attention, because things are taken, you know, completely out of order. We can sometimes get lost and be like, wait a minute, did we? It actually happened last week where we shot a scene and then we were halfway through and one of us realized that we were completely misinterpreting it because we had forgotten what had happened previously in the script. And because we were just being little children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hi.
My name's Catherine, and
Hi, Catherine.
I was wondering, what's your motivation for acting? Acting.
What's my motivation for acting? Like, you mean in a given scene, what's my motivation? Usually it's to, like, try to kill a demon.
I meant just, it's like going into the career of acting.
Why did I get into it in the first place? You know, I don't know. My mother did a lot of community theater when I was little, and so I would sort of tag along with her, and I would occasionally like play the little kid in. My first role was I was maybe 6, and I played a 4-year-old girl, and it was like a 3-hour-long political play. And I had one line, which was, "Yes, I can believe it because it's true." I would always have to be nudged and woken up to say my line. But I was always, I was exposed to it as a kid, but it was also not something that ever looked like a viable career option. Because, you know, she never got paid, and it was a lot of, you know, it was time consuming. And then I went to college, and I remember I went to the theater oh no, I know what happened. I went, I just figured out why I got an acting. We had this thing at the end of senior year, or maybe midway through senior year, we all had to go and talk to the career and placement office. Like basically, okay guys, you're about to finish college, now you have to either get a job or go to graduate school. And I was not going to go to graduate school at that point, so I had to go to the Get a Job seminar. And it was packed like this, and the woman who was leading the seminar said, okay, everybody, first of all, everybody go to the bathroom now, because you're not going to be able to get up out of your chair for the next hour and a half. We're going to stay here, we're going to stay focused. And we settled into the meeting, and she got about 10 minutes in, and she was like, now you're all going to need to get haircuts, you're going to need to shave, you're going to need to buy a suit. And I was sitting right in the middle, I remember, and I was like, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, sorry. And I left, and I was like, I don't want to do whatever she's talking about. I'm not interested in that. And then I went to the theater department, and I met with the director of the theater department, and I was like, I had this weird idea, like, what if I, as a job, wanted to be an actor? And he looked at me like, you're a senior, and I've never met you. Fuck off. And he literally told me, no, that's not gonna happen for you, do something else. And when he said that, I was like, you know what, I am gonna do it. So, there was this distinct moment when a person in a position of authority told me that I couldn't do something, and I was really just exploring it. I was like, fine, I'll show you, prick. So yeah, I did it out of spite. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Misha. Hi, I'm Jody.
Hi, Jody. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
last season, Alex was introduced, and we all fell in love with him, and he's adorable. And the internet exploded when it was discovered that the two of you looked exactly alike.
Yeah.
So the question is, did you guys actually realize the similarity before the internet exploded, or was it completely coincidental?
No, I mean, so I am his biological father. And I think it's time we just get that out there. Not only do he and I look, I mean, I, at his age, looked identical to him now. And we even have the same, like, mannerisms, same posture. It's really weird. And he so far has refused to tell me where his mother was. But I think it's possible. It's kind of uncanny. And I actually haven't had a conversation with the producers about it, but I wonder if they noticed that or thought about it at all when they were casting him, because it is uncanny. And it would be a shame for the storyline at some point not to be like, oh, oops, Cass and Kelly Klein really. Actually, it turns out it wasn't Lucifer. Good talk. Hi.
Hi, my name is Sam.
Hi, Sam.
And I want to thank you for everything you've done, both on screen and off. I think you're an amazing human being.
Oh my goodness, this is... You're giving me a big head. Thank you for your kindness.
No problem. And my question is, what historical figure do you admire most, or would really just love to meet? I know it's a hard one, but
That is a hard one. I don't know, probably. I really liked the Greatest American Hero. You probably don't. You're too young to know that reference.
I'm sorry, I'm a little younger. I apologize.
I liked, you know who I really liked? Abraham Lincoln. He was tortured and articulate and had a major impact on our country's history. He was funny looking. He had it all. How about you?
I have a big list, but I think for sure one of them would be Langston Hughes or Josephine Baker. I think it was an interesting time, and those two people had seen a lot and witnessed a lot and kind of were able to bring a lot of that, especially Langston in his writing, and I think that those two would be really cool to meet.
That's your answer is much cooler than mine. Well done. Shit, it's not fair. I walked into a trap. Hi.
Hi, Misha. Obviously, the show has taken up a lot of your career, and you've dedicated a lot of your time specifically to Supernatural. How do you think the show has shaped you and your acting as opposed to when you were acting, say, on Charmed or ER?
Well, when I was on Charmed, I was an incredibly talented performer.
Clearly.
My Charmed was really my first kind of substantial role, and it took me quite a long time to land that guest spot after I moved to Los Angeles, and I was really excited about it. And I had no idea what I was doing. I remember they told me that I needed to hit my mark, and I didn't know what they were talking about. And I had to try to figure it out without asking. I was like, okay, who the fuck is Mark? And why am I supposed to hit him? This is a sick set. I was just so nervous, and I didn't know what I was doing at all. And it's funny because you get sort of, as a actor, when you first get on a TV show or on a film set, there are a lot of little technical details that nobody ever tells you, like what a mark is, or not to get in the other actor's light, or any number of other things, or continuity. Like if you're picking something up in a scene and taking a bite, you have to do it at the same point in the scene every time. And if you don't know those things, and then you start shooting, and then someone comes up to you and is like, you bit the apple at the wrong time, and then you're like, what do you mean I bit the apple at the wrong time? And then your brain starts to short circuit because like all you can think about is biting the apple, and then you forget your lines, and then you step into the other actor's light, and then everyone's yelling at you, and you're flop sweating, and so the makeup person is coming over and like dabbing your forehead with a washcloth, and it all just sort of spirals out of control into the most miserable experience you can imagine. And that character on Charmed, I was teed up to be like a recurring character, and I was going to be Alyssa Milano's romantic interest, and they decided to go a different direction after the first episode.
Missed opportunity on their part.
We did have a kissing scene though, that didn't make the cut.
That was just for you?
She slipped me the tongue. Pretty great. It kind of made it all worth it. So you asked me a question and I don't know what it was.
How do you think Supernatural has shaped you since those acting days?
Well, I mean, one of the things is that I've gotten to play one character for a long time, and there's something cool about that because the character of Castiel has just sort of woven itself into the fabric of me somehow. So there's a lot less thinking and a lot more just being in that character, and I know that's the same for Jared and Jensen playing Sam and Dean. It's just sort of become this automatic thing that we know those characters so well, we don't have to think about it anymore. I think that's also called phoning it in. But that's been a really totally different experience as an actor. You never expect to do something for so many years as an actor. And it's been an education. I worry that when I go and try to do another character that it's just going to look like Castiel. I may be broken, I don't know. But I've been very lucky to have been able to do this. So, yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
I was wondering what the most stupid thing you, Jared, and Jensen have fought over.
Have fought over?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't ask what the most stupid thing we've done is. I don't know the answer to that question. We sometimes have political arguments, and Jensen reminded me last week that he still has video footage of a couple of years ago. Me and Jared were wrestling, which is stupid. I don't know why anyone would wrestle with Jared. We were wrestling in Jensen's hotel room, and we were really trying to hurt each other. And while we were wrestling, we were talking about politics. And it was actually really hilarious because we were really like hurting each other, and yet speaking in this very calm, measured, reasoned debate tone about politics. So that was a stupid thing to do, and it was an argument, so it almost satisfies your question. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Misha.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I want to first tell you, you don't look tired, you look perfect.
Oh.
Sorry.
Thank you for lying.
No, that's not a lie. My question is, in all your scenes you've done in Supernatural, what is the most exciting set that you guys ever worked on for you?
The most exciting set that we ever worked on? I mean, we've worked in some pretty amazing old factories and mills. I actually kind of loved, I guess it's kind of a set. I loved the Pimpmobile, Castiel's Pimpmobile. That was exciting. It was exciting because it actually had hydraulics in it. So it could do that and like do little hops, which we weren't supposed to use because it was a rented, Pimpmobile, but we did anyway, and then broke the hydraulic system, which cost $10,000 to fix. But if you're gonna have that functionality, you should be able to use it, I'm just sad that cast, I think we did it in one scene, we may have had the front end lift up, but we should have been doing that all the time. That's one of my favorites. Thanks. Hi.
Hi, my name is Alexander.
Hi, Alexander.
I have really bad social anxiety, but I love to act, so I was wondering if you have any tips on how to overcome stage fright.
You have stage fright?
Very bad stage fright.
Really? So right now this is like terrifying for you?
Yes.
I think one of the best remedies for it is, you're too young to drink, right? Just practicing, just putting yourself in that situation. Would you like to come up on stage right now just to have a little... So you'll either see that it is as bad as you thought it was, in which case I'm sorry, or you'll see that it's not so bad. And these people... Another tip is if you have a very enthusiastic and supportive audience, it makes it a lot easier. So you should curate your audience and make sure it's all people that are going to applaud loudly for you. Thank you. Bye, Alexander.
Good job!
Hi.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hello, Stephanie.
So let me just preface this by saying this has nothing to do with /fic before you get the wrong idea.
Okay.
So it's been shown on the internet that you and Jensen share clothes a lot.
Okay.
So I was wondering if Dean and Cass have ever done that. Like, does Cass ever wear a leather jacket, or Dean wear the trench coat, or do they just always wear the same thing every day?
Well, I mean, that's pretty close to /fic.
I mean, but like not.
I mean, you're sort of in a loophole, gray area here. I think, like, do they dress each other up? I mean, where are you going with this? Role play?
No. Just if they ever share clothes, like, you know how like friends or siblings share each other's clothes. Like, I'm trying to make this platonic. I'm sorry.
You're failing. You're failing. So for those of you who don't know, there's also this other thing called real person. What is it called? RL. What is it? RPF. Real person fiction. So that would be like Misha and Jensen have an amorous something or other. And so that exists too, and it has a name. It's Cockles, Collins and Ackles mixed together, and there are people in the extended fandom who think it's real, and they're looking for like clues that it's real, and. We go to conventions a lot, and Jensen has this thing where, I don't have it because I'm too cheap, but Jensen has this thing where he doesn't want to wear the same clothes twice on stage at a convention. So he will wear a shirt on stage at a convention, and then he won't wear that shirt again at a convention, and so he has to sort of like get rid of it. And for a little while, he was like, well, you know, Misha and I, well, you're the same size, why don't you take this shirt? And so he would be giving me his hand-me-down clothes that I would then be wearing at conventions, and fans would be like, I knew it.
So that's what I meant with Dean and Cass, just to be clear.
Right. That they're just like swapping clothes for sexual roleplay. Got it. Sorry, I misunderstood.
It's okay.
Hi.
Hi Misha, I'm Francesca, and I think I speak on the behalf of everyone here that thank you so much for all that you do. And
thank you for your kindness. Thank you for all you do.
My question is, what Hogwarts house do you think you are?
The Bubble Puffs. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie.
What was your favorite moment playing Cassifer?
My favorite moment playing Cassifer? I don't know. Oh, maybe the Rowena scene. I just had fun with that. It was weird because so the character was established by Mark Pellegrino, and he told me as I was prepping to take on his character, basically, he told me that every time he goes into a scene as Lucifer, he looks at his scene partner and he thinks, I either want to have sex with them or I want to kill them. Those are the two options. So it's always one of the two, which is a very different vibe than that Cass puts off, which is more just like. So I had that scene with Ruth where I was, I guess I killed Rowena. I don't know, that was mean, but
I did say that to you, didn't I?
You did say that. You were great.
What's up?
You, not only, I mean, I've never done that with another actor. I felt like it was almost cheating. I came over to your apartment, and you gave me full-on tips. You even gave me line readings. I cheated.
You were awesome.
But it was super fun, and you established such a great character that was just fun to work with.
As did you. Now, you're Lucifer as well.
Oh well,
And
Jesus.
Cass.
God, we've never complimented each other like this, or at all. It feels awkward. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to get get into that weird, lascivious, more visceral of a character. You know, Cass is very shut down, so it felt like sort of coming to life. Yeah.
Nice, right? A relief.
It was a relief, yeah.
And I got to have a scene with Lucifer, but it wasn't you.
That's right. But it was.
But it was. Yeah. Fun story. Bitch.
It really takes on a life of its own the way you guys tell it.
Yeah.
What a snooze fest, Christ. I've been in libraries with more heat. And suddenly it's like an NPR interview. Yeah, came to your house, you made me chamomile, and we chatted about it. Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, we did. Ever recall you wearing socks? I think I was. 2 socks, if memory serves. That's so true.
This was a funny joke 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm doing it in real time. So, Misha. Yeah. Mark.
Yes?
Rob.
Richard.
Billy. Steve. Mike. Great job, everybody. How's it? Did you go out in the city? Did you get into town and go tear it up last night? Did you do anything fun?
No, I did nothing fun.
God,
I had dinner.
I'm counting on you people to fly. Like we're here. We're on the clock. We got nothing.
Yeah.
But I figured you guys would go and represent.
But do you do karaoke?
I do karaoke. Yeah, Robbie did do karaoke.
Did you go into the city last night?
I did.
What'd you do?
Did you tear it up?
I had dinner.
You had dinner too?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we have so much in common.
We did. And then afterwards I had a little drink at a bar near the restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you do that?
No.
Oh.
Well, Misha, who'd you have dinner with?
I had dinner with my friend Darius.
I know Darius.
Oh.
Funny fellow.
I had dinner with my friend Darius.
That's so weird. Are we the same person?
Maybe.
Rob's is a giraffe puppet, but nonetheless. He's still a conversationalist. This is New Jersey, it being our 100th convention, and it being SchmelkyCon, a con that's pretty much built around the only person who's been at all 100 conventions, Chris Schmelky, so it's kind of dubbed SchmelkyCon. Because it's such a special event, that is why I delivered to you this magic Hollywood moment that never happens. Misha Collins and Mark Pellegrino complimenting each other. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Pellegrino and Misha Collins. He's You caught it? Damn it. Good one, guys.
Great one, guys.
Great stuff. As you stampede for the exits, remember this. There is a concert that happens here on stage. It's called Saturday Night Special.